Hello, this is Caroline McMahon from Caroline's Angels Baby Sleep Specialist. This week's question is, what do I do about my baby standing in their cot? So a very real problem for a lot of you that have got sort of babies that are moving around their cot and not newborns anymore. Caroline and I get a lot of calls from parents who say that they put their babies down to sleep, they're wide awake, they don't need any sleep props. They say goodnight, they walk out and they settle very quickly, but they're awake all night. And they just cannot understand and problem solve what to do about this problem. And these babies are really waking nearly every hour from about 11 p.m. through to 5 o'clock in the morning, which I think we'll all agree is very, very wakeful and quite frustrating when you seemingly are doing everything that you are suggested to do in order to help your baby sleep through the night. So what we want to do is go back and look at this from the baby's perspective. Always go back and have a think about what your baby feels and sees and touches when they go to sleep. So for a lot of these babies that are waking so frequently, they're going into their cot. Quite often the sleeping bag is left in their cot, and then their parents put them into the cot, zip them up in their sleeping bags, they say goodnight and walk out the door, and their babies very cleverly put themselves to sleep. Now, we know that babies wake through sleep cycles through the night. They tend to be most wakeful from about 11 midnight at night to 5 in the morning, because that's when their brain has them rehearsing their skills that they're learning in the day. So if you put your baby down on the floor and you watch what they do, you might see that they pull to standing, they grab a coffee table or a couch or something like that, and they pull themselves to standing. Well, they're going to do that in the night. They're going to come out of a light phase of sleep, and they're going to start moving around their cot and crawling around and possibly pull themselves up to standing in their cot. And then out of that light phase of sleep, they're possibly going to wake fully up, and then they're going to look down and go, I don't go to sleep like this. But they're used to going to sleep flat in their cot, and they find themselves standing, and they just don't understand why they're standing and what to do about this problem. They know they should go back to sleep because they've been quite used to self-settling, but from that position, their checklist, if you like, I go to sleep, I'm laying down, say goodnight to mum and dad, and then I go to sleep. What do I do about this standing thing? So what we need to do is look at teaching your baby what to do about their new upright positioning. And really you might even find that your baby is sitting in the cot, that they're not old enough yet to stand, but even upright now is sitting. So look at what your baby can safely do. If they can get themselves to sitting, then sure, put them in sitting. If they can get themselves to standing, and you feel that they're very steady on their feet, I'm not saying just their first few moments of getting themselves to standing, and then they let go and they bang their head on the back of their cot. I mean, they need to be quite steady to do this. What I want you to do is put their sleeping bags on outside their cot, so in that preparation time before bed, put their sleeping bag on, have a little cuddle with them, and then place them into their cot in a sitting or a standing position as your baby's appropriateness is. Sorry, I've got a very old dog. He doesn't understand when my door is shut. He's coming in for a little look to see what I'm doing in here. Sorry for that. Put your baby's sleeping bag on outside of the cot. Say goodnight, put your baby in an upright position, sitting or standing, and then allow them to self-settle as they usually would. For some babies this doesn't create a problem when you change the way they go to sleep, and for other babies they do. So you may feel that you have to come back and support them through that change so that they know how to get down and what's expected of them. So do expect a little bit of unsettledness if you're doing this. The other part that we need to look at is then the wakefulness through the night. And what we need to do is step back and give them a little bit of time to put themselves back to sleep. We've got to give them some space to be able to identify, yes, I'm upright, what should I do about this, how do I get myself back to sleep? If we're rushing in there and laying them down and doing it all for them, then their strategy for putting themselves back to sleep is, I cry, my parent comes, they do it all for me, and we rescue them effectively. So as much as this is not a crying out method by any means, it's just give them a little space, a couple of minutes, maybe 5, depending on your child. And then if they can't work out what to do with them, of course, go and support them. But just give them a couple of minutes to go, I know about this, I know what I should be doing, I should be able to get myself back down. into the cot, maybe need another few minutes to be able to go back to sleep, and teach them that that's okay, that they can manage this step on their own. So hopefully that gives you a look into positioning. You can read a little bit about that on our I Am Doing Everything checklist, which is available from our website at carolinesangels.com.au. But very, very important. Not every baby will go through, and this will be a problem for them. But if that was the question, that this person has a problem with their baby standing, and I know they're not alone because we get a lot of calls about this. So hopefully that will help you in understanding why it happens and what you can do about it. So tune in next week. We are taking questions from our fans on specific things that they'd like some information from, and I'll try and get those answers to you. So check in and see if yours is next. Thank you and goodbye.